Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the Heartbroken and Housebroken podcast. My name is Spiro. I'm the host. If you haven't subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to get notified whenever we have a new episode. Trying to do Tuesdays at 9 a.m., but scheduling gets a little difficult. I'm all over the place, but once a week is my goal. And it's funny that I even bring that up because this week, it's going to be a relatively short episode, and I'm releasing it on Monday, February 24th. If you're listening, that's today. And the reason why I'm doing it is because it is the 4-year death anniversary of my late wife, Sarah. And honestly, it's difficult. It's a difficult moment. The days aren't the ones, the day of isn't the one that really gets me. It's been the lead up. The lead up, your body gets this anxiousness. You know, I've learned that grief and depression isn't just through crying, isn't through hiding in your room, isn't through feeling suicidal, isn't through, self-medicating, all the things that you associate depression and grief and trauma with. That happens. And when she first passed, the first year and a half, those are the major things. Like, you want to hide, you don't want to be around anybody. I cried almost all day long, edibles all day long. Like, I just didn't want to associate with the world, And you do get these thoughts like, I just want to be with her. It doesn't matter where it's at. I just want to be with her. And there's a lot of willpower that goes on after someone passes, whether you're a strong person or not. I've never been a suicidal person before, but when something so terrible happens and the emotions are so strong in your body and you have so much regret and sadness and just ugly images in your head, like, it makes sense that you want to put an end to it. And I had some dark nights. I had some dark mornings. I've had some dark evenings. And I ultimately got to the other side. I got to the other side because I had a great support system around me. And I knew that Sarah didn't want that for me. I knew she wanted me to continue on. One of the last things she ever said to me was, do comedy. I want you to be happy. Don't stop your life because of me. That was a big thing when she got sick. She didn't want to feel like she was a burden on me. And that always, I just didn't understand that. I'm like, you're not a burden on me. And I'm not going to ever say she was a burden on me, but I can understand why she felt that way. Because she saw the toll that it was taking on me. She saw how I changed. She saw how it affected me. That's been the hardest part of me getting back out there and starting this podcast and talking about it on stage is really just trying to discover myself again and tell my story and try to be honest with myself, because when someone's so sick for so long, you put yourself on the back burner. You hide yourself. You do anything you can to make sure that person's comfortable. And she did everything she could for me. She let me do comedy. She let me pursue what I needed to do. She supported me, and she understood, She wasn't someone who was like, no, you need to just sit here with me all the time and take care of me. But when someone's sick, that's what you end up doing, and you don't even realize it. You become you almost become like what are those things called? The animals, the service animal. You almost become like a service animal. You go to all these appointments, you're there to take care, alert, direct, make sure that person is safe at all times. And I loved doing it. I loved being my wife's caretaker. I loved being Sarah's caretaker. I knew it made her happy. And that was just something that I enjoyed. She thoroughly, genuinely enjoyed when I was happy and when I was doing comedy and doing movies. And she didn't want to take that away from me. And the dynamic of our relationship changed, where the happiness I could provide her was just being there for her and taking care of her. And when she passed, I felt like a failure. I really did, because you take care of somebody for almost 4 years while they're sick. It seems like she's going to get through it. It seems like everything's going in the right direction. You're following everything you need to do. You're being super precautious. You're doing maximum effort to make sure that this person you love comes out on the other side. And then they don't. And then they don't. And I've been through a lot of therapy, so I know how to talk to myself. I know how to not blame myself, but it's easy to understand why people struggle for so long after loss, is because there's an immense amount of guilt. Like, the survivor's guilt that I go through is insane. You know, she was amazing. She was a teacher. She touched lives. God, the letters that I've read from some of her students just absolutely blow me away. And I want to read one that I found because it just really shows what an amazing person she was and what her philosophy was. And like, you see how great of a person she is, and then you are still here and you're still healthy and you're still kicking, doing everything that you want, and you're like, why me? Why me? I still think, why me? Why did she get sick and not me? You know? You start to find purpose in everything you do. You know, there's cons, a lot of cons about her being gone, but unfortunately, there's some pros from going through loss. You just learn to appreciate things a lot more. You learn that there's a time limit on everything. Nothing lasts forever. So to enjoy everything as much as possible. You learn that a lot of people just don't give a fuck about you, and they only just really care about their own comfort and their own peace, which is fine. Everybody deserves their own peace. Everyone deserves their own comfort, but you learn hard lessons because you learn a lot of people that you thought cared about you, or you thought are people with your best interest, aren't. Whether it's for selfish reasons or malicious reasons, you just learn these lessons. And then all you want to do is talk to the person that you lost. All I wanted to do was talk to Sarah. And, you know, there's still moments where things happen, or people show me their true colors, or things hit me a certain way where I get these emotions. I get angry. I get sad. I get everything. And I just want to like talk to her about it. And I do. I chat her up. She's around, as you guys have seen some of the podcasts. She shows her face. I've learned a lot about myself. And I've also learned how to take care of myself. That's another pro that's come out of Sarah being gone. Is I looked at my own health, and I had a lot of help. You know, I had some scares. I had some moments where I wasn't taking care of myself. And again, fortunately, I have amazing people in my life, including Liz, especially Liz, who she went through her own trauma. She went through her own past issues, and they're different than mine. But she at least understood, hey, like, you're good. Like, this is normal. Like, how you're feeling, that's like, you're not alone. And that's the thing that happens when you lose somebody so close to you, especially your spouse, is you feel alone. Like, you feel like nobody understands you. And for the most part, a lot of people don't understand you. Because how many people have lost a significant other in their early 30s? Got sick in the late 20s, passed away in the early 30s, and then, you know, I have to live another 40, 50, 60 years. There's not a lot of people that have to do with that. A lot of people that lose their significant others are older. They've gotten this experience with people. They've gotten to be married. They have kids. They have grandchildren. They get to experience a life together. And then they take care of their significant other when they're sick, when they're later in life, and they're able to, and financially stable. And we didn't have all that. And it's hard for people my age just to kind of understand where my stress is. You know, I have a lot of anxiety over this. I get a lot of, like, especially, I said time. Time is like the thing I think I realized the most. Like, I always used to be someone who was like, I like to be on time. I don't like to be late. But now I'm like, I got to get places early. I'm stressed about stuff. I always have deadlines that feel like if I don't get the deadline done, like, everything's going to fall apart. The world feels like it's going to crumble if things don't go according to plan on the schedule that it goes. And I know I deal with a lot of people. A lot of my friends are just like, holy shit, calm down. It's too much. It's too, but you just learn that you don't have time for everything. And then your body just, like I said, it absorbs these pain points and these grief points, and it stores it in your body. I do yoga once a week. I work out. I play hockey. And it's amazing how much trauma and PTSD has been released while I've been doing that. Things that I forgot happened, like horrible, terrible memories repressed in my body that when I stretch during hot yoga, they fully come out like a full movie, like a 4K movie. I remember it vividly. It's like I'm there. And it's amazing that that's how the body works, and that's how depression works. Like, it's not just in your chest. It's not just in your head. It's not just coming out of your eyes. It's stiffness in the hip. It's low back pain. It's, it's crazy. It's crazy how many physical ailments I've had, and then as soon as I stretch them out or work them out or take care of it, the underlying trauma reason that pops out. It's incredible. There's a book about it. My therapist brought it up. I can't remember what it's called. I'll try to find it and I'll link it below. But it talks about how your body does store repressed memories and PTSD physically and how it can physically manifest itself. Great book, I'm sure. I got to check it out. I'll link it below. Some other great books that I've read to help me get through it. I've talked about the Young Hot Widowers Club. Fantastic. If you guys are going through a loss, that's a book you should definitely pick up. It gives stories, advice. It just makes you realize that you're not as alone as you think you are. Like, there's not a lot of us out there. There's not a lot of young widows. It's not someone you're going to run into every day at the grocery store. But there's enough out there where you're like, oh, these make sense. These feelings make sense. I miss her, man. 4 years has been a long time, and it's been short at the same time. Like, I feel like it was yesterday when I got the phone call. I feel like it was yesterday. I got the phone call, and from that moment on, my world was completely different. My life was completely different. My mindset was completely different. Feels like yesterday, but then I remember things from, like, people will tell me things from, like, 2 years ago, and I don't even fucking remember that. It's amazing how your body just blocks out this concept of time when you're grieving. Like, 4 years has felt like 40 years and like 4 days all in one. It's crazy. One thing that I've learned over these last 4 years is the best way to really get over the grief and the depression of all this is to just honor her, to really just think about what made her such an amazing soul, an amazing person. I mean, we bonded right away. Well, not right away. We knew each other in school, but we bonded when we were at the Palms. We became best friends. We told each other everything. We worked the same schedule. We were looking forward to talking to each other every day. That's really, like, we really worked well together, and we really just enjoyed each other, and we developed an amazing love out of that. And it was sweet, and it was fiery, and it was passionate, and that just describes her in the best way. She's sweet, fiery, and passionate. Like, I would come home and I would be missing things from my closet, like old clothes. And I'm like, where's this? And she's like, oh, I gave that to my student because he wasn't able to afford clothes. Like, she was just so kind. She loved her kids. She loved teaching. I love that she was a teacher. It made me so happy to see her so happy and so proud of what she was doing. And spoiler alert, but I'm getting into the teaching world as well. I think it was something that she opened my eyes to, and I could see her love for the purpose that she has, being able to really touch these kids' lives and give them someone that they might not be able to have at home. Her home life wasn't the greatest growing up, so she really wanted to make sure that these kids had somebody that they felt safe with, that they felt comfortable with, that they felt could be a trusting adult figure to them. She really took a lot of pride in that. And I loved seeing it. And over my years of working in the casino and the hotel, I realized that was kind of something that I felt like I was missing, is that sense of purpose, that sense of like, what am I doing to benefit the world? And she was the one that really kind of showed me that route. She never thought I would like really fully enjoy teaching because I'm a little wacky, I'm a little off kilter, I say what I say how I feel, but I do love teaching. I used to teach improv, I'm still teaching improv. Whenever I would work in the casino or the hotel, I was always training and teaching. It was always something I was super passionate about. So she opened that world to me, and I'm excited to start teaching, and I'm excited to continue kind of her legacy with that passion to educate and passion to be a role model for somebody and be in someone's life when they might not know you need them in your life. Just like how I started this podcast. I don't know how many people it's going to help. I don't know if it's going to help anybody. I don't know if anyone's listening half the time, quite frankly. I know a few are because you guys reach out and tell me how much you enjoy it. But when someone passes, you want to try to find your purpose. And I feel like my purpose is to make light of this situation. Because why else would I have gone through it? Why else would me, a comedian, entertainer, filmmaker, everything that I've always wanted to do with my life, go through something so devastating at such a young age to such a sweet person? There has to be a purpose behind it. There has to be. So making light of it, helping people, guiding people, intentionally, unintentionally, it doesn't matter. Like, she taught me that you love what you do when you feel like there's a purpose behind it. And I'm grateful for that. And I said earlier I was going to read a letter that one of her students wrote. And when I tell you that it makes me cry almost every single time I read it, I found it recently, and it just shows what an amazing person she is. She lived 34 years. She was a social studies teacher. She loved life. She loved koalas. She loved reality TV. She loved life. She loved her family. She loved me. She loved the good in people. This is a letter to Miss Sebaski. Dear Miss Sebaski, I'm writing this letter well before graduation because I thought it was important at the moment to tell you how much you've impacted my life. Over the 17 years I've been here and the 12 plus years I've spent in school, I've had many teachers and adults alike that have shaped me into who I am today. Out of those many people, even few are the people that I remember each day and thank for what they have done. Then there is you. You are one of two teachers that I have had. You are one of two teachers that I've had and that I've known personally. You are, in fact, the only person that has inspired me to do greater things with my life than just sit in my room all day. I was wandering aimlessly through high school, just trying to get out, I was just wandering aimlessly through high school, just trying to get out, but being put in your class was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. I know I wasn't fond of you at first, but I was naive, and over the course of 2.5 more years, I grew to love you. You have told me and the rest of lunch club many endearing stories, but you have also taught a lot of things about life and bestowed your knowledge to us. You helped 4 people who are very unlikely to be friends in any other circumstances come together and form a group of remarkable friends. There is so much that you have done for us, whether it be hosting potlucks to having in-depth conversations or simply just letting us be in your room. All of those things mean a lot to me. You've done more for me than any teacher has in ways of helping me realize what I want to do with my life, to giving me advice about the real world and challenges and the benefits of it. There's a lot more that you've done for me that I really can't put into words. You've helped me get out of slumps and bad days, as well as being the source of much needed kindness. I know I've been a pain in your ass for 3 years now, but I have loved every minute of it, and I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, want to thank you for everything. Sincerely, gentleman's name was Brendan. Brendan, thank you so much for writing that letter. I know how much she loved you guys. Not just the lunch club. I heard all about the lunch club. I know how much she loved you guys, but she loved all her students so much. And I don't think anybody could dispute the love in that woman's heart after reading that letter. And you can probably see why it really hurts me and why I'm so passionate about still talking about her, because she was such a little person, but with such a big space in everybody's heart. And if everybody in the world had a heart like hers, this world would be an amazing place. So that'll be my challenge for this year. It's my challenge every year, is to try to be a little bit more like Sarah in that kindness department every single day. Open up my heart, be kind, help people that need to be helped, be an inspiration, but be someone that they know they can come to no matter what. I really appreciate you guys. I say it every episode, and I mean it. I appreciate those who tune in, those who listen. This is a hard day for me. If you guys have your hard days as well, know you're not alone. But go do something. Go do yoga. Go to a workout class. Go take a walk. Read a letter. Write a letter to your loved one. Do something to honor that person, because they truly deserve it. And they truly want it. And they truly want you to be happy. And they truly want you to move on. Thank you so much for enjoying this episode of the Heartbroken and Housebroken podcast. My name is Spiro. If you guys haven't followed me already on social media, please do. At Spiro in that show. That way you guys can catch my shows, new episodes, new clips, all that good stuff. If you guys have any questions, comments, anything like that, please pop the DMs, pop in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer anything on future podcasts. But until then, guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. I've been Spiro. Thank you so much.